श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। श्रीमद् युगल सरकार की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Third chapter, Bhagavat Mahatamyam, Glories of Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran. The title of the chapter is The Mitigation of Sufferings, the Miseries of Bhakti Devi. The chapter also contains the Bhagavatam narration by the Revered Four Kumaras. Coming to know the glories of the Bhagavatam as preached by Shukdev-ji, Narad then said to the Revered Four Kumaras, "To revive Bhakti, Jnana and Vairagya, I now wish to perform a Jnana-Yajna through the reading of the Srimad Bhagavat as taught by sage Shukdev. Kindly tell me the Mahima, the glories of the Bhagavatam, along with where, for how long, and by what method this should be completed." The four Kumaras, Sanat, Sanatan, Sanak, Sanandan Rishis replied, "O Narad, the sacred place for this is near Haridwar at Anand, where the Ganga flows. It is pure, serene, and filled with sages, devatas, siddhas, etc. Hence the most fitting spot for the holy recitation of the Bhagavat. The Jnana Yajna could begin without any special efforts or vows, and simply hearing Srimad Bhagavat would grant unparalleled merit. Bhakti with her sons, Jnana and Vairagya, should arrive there as the trio would gain renewed strength and would also be revived by the hearing. Thus they urged Narad to proceed with the recitation." Sutji continues, "Saying this, the four Kumaras and Narad together went to the holy bank of the Ganga, impatient to begin and enjoy the recitation of Srimad Bhagavat. With their arrival, a sacred sound arose, with all divine beings in the three worlds and every Vaishnav coming eagerly to listen. The revered sages Bhrigu, Vashisht, Chyavan, Gautam, Medhatiti, Deval, Devarat, Parshuram and Vishwamitra, the son of Gadi, along with Sakal, Markandeya, son of Mrikandu, Lord Dattatreya, Pippalad, the great Vyas with his father Parashar, sages Jajali, Janu, etc., Chayashuk, another form of Sri Shuk from his shadow, and his followers, etc., all assembled together with their consorts, sons, pupils, etc., earnestly eager to listen to the nectar-like story of Srimad Bhagavatam. Even the Upanishads, the Vedas, sacred rivers like Ganga and Yamuna, holy places like Kurukshetra, Kashi, Dandak forest and Pushkar lakes, as well as sacrifices like Ashwamedh, all came together as embodied, personified and radiant to listen. In this way, the entire universe had assembled to witness the recital of Srimad Bhagavat, the supreme purifier. Narad worshipped and invited the four Kumaras to begin the narration and then sat down to listen to the recitation of Srimad Bhagavat to be recited by the four Kumaras, with countless divine beings too gathered around with great eagerness. On one side sat the hosts of seers, on another the guardians of heaven, elsewhere the devatas and other celestial beings, the divine personalities. The Vedas and Upanishads took their places, as did the deities presiding over sacred pilgrimages, while noble ladies who also sat among the assembly. The air was filled with shouts of glory, greetings, and the resounding of conches, accompanied by showers of red powder, flowers, and grains. Then the revered Kumaras started with the glories, saying, "This Srimad Bhagavat, consisting of 18,000 verses in 12 cantos, a skanda, is a dialogue between King Parikshit and Sri Shukdev. One should constantly hear and reflect upon it, for through this scripture, liberation is attained and Sri Hari himself comes to dwell in the heart of the devotee, as secure as within reach in one's palms." In the verse 27, Kumaras spoke, Kumara Uchu. तावत् संसार चक्रे अस्मिन् भ्रमते ज्ञानतः पुमान् यावत् कर्णगता नास्ति शुकशास्त्र कथाक्षणम्. Hearing many scriptures and Puranas may give knowledge or even confuse, but only Srimad Bhagavat can grant liberation. Its daily recitation turns a place into a sacred place and purifies those dwelling in it. Thousands of Ashwamedh sacrifices or hundreds of Vajpayee sacrifices cannot compare to even a fraction, 1/16th of the merit of reciting Srimad Bhagavat, which is the holiest of all. If one seeks the highest destiny, even daily reading or hearing a half or a quarter of a verse of Srimad Bhagavat gets one closer to the ultimate goal. The wise maintain that sacred are Om, the Gayatri Mantra, the Purush Shukta, the three Vedas, Rig, Sam, Yajur, the Bhagavat Puran, the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and Lord Vishnu have no distinction in reality, bestowing similar merits among them. Therefore, it should be read daily with reverence, for it is none other than Sri Hari who protects the righteous and uplifts the fallen. Even one who donates a copy of Srimad Bhagavat to a devotee of Lord Vishnu with faith, treating it as life itself, immediately attains absorption in Sri Krishna. A man revolves on this whirly gig of transmigration through ignorance only so long as the story of Srimad Bhagavat does not enter his ear even for a moment. In the verse 37 in this chapter, the revered Kumaras declare, Kumara Uchu Yashna Bhagavatam Shastra Vachaye Darto Nisham Janma Koti Kritam Papam Nashyate Natra Sanshayah. The sins committed in crores of lives by the man who intelligently reads the whole of the scripture known by the name of Srimad Bhagavat without a pause gets rooted out. There is no doubt about it. The Kumaras continue the glories saying, he who daily reads even a quarter of a verse of the Srimad Bhagavat gains the fruit of a Rajsuya and Ashwamedh sacrifice, and also the daily reading of the Bhagavatam or meditating on Sri Hari or watering the Tulsi plant or serving the cows, all are equal in merit. At the time of death, hearing even one sentence of the Bhagavat grants an abode in Vaikunt by the grace of Lord Sri Krishna. One who gifts the Srimad Bhagavat placed and seated on a gold throne to a Vaishnav then attains absorption into Sri Krishna. Daily hearing with devotion purifies the heart, grants liberation, and even those who listen without full understanding gain merit, whereas a person who lives his entire life without hearing the Bhagavat is no better than a beast, ridiculed by the wise as one who has only troubled his mother by taking birth, and regarded by the devatas too as having wasted his human life. Verse 44 in this chapter, Kumara Uchu Durulai Bhaiva Katha Loke Srimad Bhagavatodhava Koti Janma Samuttena Punyenaiva Tulabhyate. An exposition of Srimad Bhagavat is certainly rare in the world. In fact, an opportunity to hear it can be had only through merit percolated through crores of lives. Therefore, O Narad, Bhagavat should be heard with diligence and devotion, for there is no higher scripture. It may be heard at any time, 7 days, 15, a month or more. But the 7-day recitation as done by Shri Shuk is considered the best, as in Kali Yuga with a man's short lifespan, the mind gets difficult to still and control for a long period. So even if the whole text is not completed in a week, it grants the supreme fruit with a week's absorbed hearing of the narration. The greatness of hearing the Bhagavat cannot be equaled by vows, austerities, sacrifices or pilgrimages. For even a week's hearing destroys accumulated sins and grants liberation. Its glory is beyond compare, greater than meditation, yoga, penance, vows, sacrifices, pilgrimages, or fasts, because it is directly linked to devotion to Hari, standing above all and shining as the best means for attaining God. An exposition of Srimad Bhagavat is supremely rare and must be heard with diligence. It has no restrictions of time or rules, can be completed in 7 days, and grants liberation. It is superior over yoga, meditation, and even spiritual enlightenment. What more is then left to say about its glories? Shanak then asks, O Sutji, this story is truly wonderful, but how has the Bhagavat Puran, revealing Lord Narayan's true nature and surpassing all other paths, become the supreme path to final liberation, excelling all disciplines including that of spiritual enlightenment? To which Sutji replied, when Sri Krishna was ready to ascend to his divine realm, Uddhav, after hearing his teachings as in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, then asked, O Lord Krishna, you have fulfilled your mission on earth. Yet please quench a worry of mine, for hearing you brings joy. The terrible age of Kali is near, when wicked men will exploit all others for their selfish gain. Who but you alone can protect Mother Earth, who is in the form of an innocent cow, from such men? O Lord, whom should she then resort for protection, being deprived of your grace? Hence, O compassionate Lord, stay back for your devotees. Supreme Lord Krishna then thought how best to protect his devotees after his departure, and then infused all his divine glory and energy into the Srimad Bhagavat, merging himself into it, making it his visible form. This scripture dispels sins, suffering, poverty, ignorance, and misfortune, and grants victory over passion and anger. Even the Lord's Maya cannot overpower one who takes refuge in it, which otherwise is extremely difficult. Thus, hearing Srimad Bhagavat in 7 days is praised as supreme and superior. Sutji continued, just at that time when revered Shanak, Sanatan, Shanak, Sanandan and the brothers were narrating the glories of Bhagavat Saptah to Narad, the miracle was seen by all. The wonderful miracle is described in the verse 67. Sut uvacha bhakti sutauto taruno grihitva preme karupa sahasa virasit Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare Natheti Namani Muhur Vadanti. Bhakti, whose form is identical with love for God, then appeared in a living form all of a sudden, taking with her her aforesaid sons Jnana and Vairagya, restored to their youth, and who were repeating the names of Shri Krishna, Govinda, Hari, Murari of the Lord Vishnu, all in the vocative. O Shanak, etc., seeing Bhakti Devi and her sons dressed in immaculate attire, ornaments with the truth of Bhagavatam adorned with jewels on them, all then wondered how had she arrived and entered this assembly. The Kumaras then clarified, she has just emerged out of the substance of the story of the Bhagavatam. Bhakti Devi then asked the revered Kumaras, O son of Brahma, I and my sons had grown weak in Kali Yuga and now are fully reinvigorated, being fed with the nectar-like story of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, O revered sages, please tell me where I should reside. In the verse 71, the revered sages replied, Kumara Uchu Bhakteshu Govind Swarupa Kartri Preme Kadhratri Bhavaroga Hantri Swatvam Chatisthasya Sudhairya Sansriya Nirantaram Vaishnava Manasani. You bestow on the devotees a form similar to that of Sri Krishna, the protector of cows. You are the only sustainer of love for the Lord and put an end to the disease of transmigration. Therefore, taking recourse to extreme formness, dwell you as such incessantly in the minds of votaries of Lord Vishnu. Sutji concludes, even as she was hearing this, Bhakti Devi instantly entered into the minds of devotees who constantly remember the Lord. Though outwardly poor, those who hold exclusive devotion to Sri Hari are the truly blessed in all worlds. Sri Hari too, bound with the cord of their devotion, resides in the devotee's heart, renouncing his own divine realm. What else is then left to say of the glories of the Bhagavatam? The narrator and the listener of the Srimad Bhagavatam, with their faith and devotion, both then attain equality with the Lord. Thus ends the 3rd chapter, glorifying the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam. Radhe Radhe.